every night get better than the last night, because I don't want to ever feel let down. We're going to go to Chili's afterwards. Those of you who are interested in hanging out with people, the last couple times you're ever going to see all 13 of these people in a room together. So it's very possible. So yeah, I'm super proud of you guys. It was awesome last night. I heard nothing but my family telling me how much they cried and loved it. This was their favorite of the 3 shows, which is no small feat. I think the other 2 were pretty good. So let's do it again. You guys ready to do our cheesy little thing? Yeah. Sure. Or our kids die nicotine for 10 minutes. Yep. Too late. All right, everybody. Ready? 1, 2, 3, Sovereign!
Who said blast radius?
Who said blast?
You got 12 till house opens. 7 till you need to get your ass backstage.
Alright, okay. Well,
vacate premises.
And welcome to the VK Garage Theater and tonight's performance of Sovereign by Mac Rogers, presented by Yellow Lab Productions. At this time, please silence or turn off all electronic devices. Sovereign will be presented in 2 acts with 1 15-minute intermission in which concessions will be available. Sovereign is intended for mature audiences and features adult language, situations, and violence. Viewer discretion is advised. Sovereign is the final installment of the Honeycomb Trilogy, a 3-part science fiction saga that tells one overarching story. Sovereign follows this year's successful productions of Advance Man and Blast Radius. Although Sovereign is the last play of the trilogy, each show is a standalone story and can be enjoyed independently of the other shows. We hope you will attend Yellow Lab future productions in 2018. Like Yellow Lab Productions on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at Yellow Lab Pro to stay up to date. Now please enjoy this evening's production of Sovereign.
We have been fighting a long time. We are outnumbered by humans working around the clock without quit. Humans have a strength that cannot be measured. This is Abby Cook. If you are listening to this, you are the Resistance, and you've won. 20 years ago, my father, Bill Cook, led the first manned mission to Mars to find a new home for humanity before Earth became uninhabitable. On Mars, they found something. An alien race, the Honeycomb, an insectoid race that shares a hive mind. They offered to save Earth if we would share it with them. My father brought them back and I joined them and helped the Honeycomb take over. I worked with Connor, the first alien mind trapped in a human body through a process called transitioning, in which the human's body and the Honeycomb's consciousness become one. We were the ambassadors of our respective races and others. We sought to demonstrate the great possibilities ahead of Earth. The rest of humanity wasn't so welcoming. For 12 years, they fought, with my sister Ronnie leading the rebellion. They discovered that drinking a liquid waste runoff from the Honeycomb would cause an explosion when ingested by a human. They turned to suicide bombing nests across the world. In response, the Honeycomb decided on a mass transition, replacing the minds of all humanity with the Honeycombs in order to create a bridge race. But the humans struck first. Connor sided with them, against me, and died destroying our life's work. The last 8 years have been a brutal massacre of suicide and murder. The nests have been destroyed. The people of the Honeycomb, my people, are dying. Humanity has won the war. They've retaken Earth. The humans will do anything to recapture their past. The Honeycomb will do anything to safeguard our future. Survival is insufficient.
Why don't we just start with an easy question? How does that sound?
Like what?
Like, what is your name?
Boudin, House 20.
Now, Boudin, you do realize that is not your name, right?
What?
You have a name. As a free human, a few people came by your house about a year ago from the Settlement Authority, right?
Came by my house?
From the Settlement Authority. And they assigned you a new second
We don't
name.
have to do this. I have the record right here. Settlement
I'm asking my questions.
It was Shanna answered the door.
Alright, now Shanna, before we go on, who is Shanna?
Live with me. Mother of my children.
Your wife.
Shanna answered the door. People came.
And as your wife, Shanna would have shared a second name with you. Do you follow me? What was that second name?
right here. Settlement
I am asking Boudin. I am asking the subject under question.
Alright, people, you know what? I know Boudin has a second name because millions of people died so he could have it. Will someone just say what it is?
Sorry, Ronnie.
Simmons, Governor.
The governor. Yes.
Simmons! It's like pulling motherfucking teeth.
Sorry, it's just Shanna would answer the door.
So, Mr. Simmons, Shanna Simmons would be your wife.
What?
You are Boudin Simmons, correct? So when I say Mr. Simmons, that means I'm talking to you.
Alright.
And for the same reason, when I say Mrs. Simmons, Boudin, I mean your wife.
Shanna.
Shanna Simmons.
Mother of my children.
Your wife!
Alright.
So where is she right now? Where is your wife?
Why?
Governor, we should push this till tomorrow. He's clearly...
Tomorrow's list is as long as today's. We finish.
Boudin, at this moment, right now, where is Shanna Simmons? Right now, where is she?
All around my house. In my stuff.
May I note again for the Governor's consideration that Mr. Simmons is for a start unable to read.
You get a turn. This isn't it.
All around your house and in your things. Can you explain what you mean by that?
New digger. New reaper. New turner. Oh, and for the gators too. And over the windows.
New digger, new reaper, new turner. Now these are all gardening tools, am I correct?
For the veggies, yeah.
So what do gardening tools have to do with your wife, Mr. Simmons?
New digger from Shanna. A reaper from Shanna. Turner from Shanna.
Her bones. You made these new tools from her bones.
Bones, yeah. Shanna would talk for me mostly.
And, gators. You said gators a minute ago. Do you care to explain what you mean by that?
I gotta feed them till they're big enough.
Gotta feed them till they're big enough. So, you fed them her flesh, is that right? You fed them Shanna Simmons' flesh?
Flesh.
Oh, yeah, to the gators.
And, over the windows. You said Miss Simmons was over the windows?
Yeah.
Well, can you explain?
Bits down here. Clean them, scrape them out, hang them out in the sun until they're stiff like that. Then I put them in my window so those twitches wouldn't get inside.
Her intestines. You put them over your windows.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Simmons, if you're using your wife's bones as gardening tools and her flesh as feed for your gators and her intestines as fencing for your windows, I think we can all say that your wife is dead. Is that right, Mr. Simmons? Is Shanna dead?
Yeah.
When did she die? How many days has it been?
Don't know, a few.
And how did she die?
Cough.
She had the cough.
And so bad she had no sleep with it. I put the hot weeds on her chest like they say, but she did that for us, and I'm no good at it. And the cough turned to blood, and then she goes on.
She goes on. She died.
Yeah.
And when she died, Mr. Simmons, did you tell anyone?
Tell?
You do know what tell means, don't you?
The kids seen her go on.
But did you tell anybody else?
Like who?
Like anyone from authority. Any of the peace officers you see walking around. Anyone from authority at all.
Authority? The bugs are gone.
Governor,
What
please.
did you say?
Governor, I'm almost finished.
Say it again. Say what you just said.
The bugs are gone. We don't have to send the body to the combs anymore. The bugs are gone.
Even if Mr. Simmons was present when the settlement authority announced new regulations...
That's what you think when you hear authority? You think bugs?
I don't get it.
Governor, if I may. Mr. Simmons, the code of law governing coral settlement requires that when a person dies, somebody from their house must notify or tell someone from the authority. That way, a funeral service and burial can be arranged. So this is very, very important. Did you tell anyone at all, when Shanna Simmons died? Yes or no, Mr. Simmons? It can only be yes or no.
No.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons. Miss Miller.
We gonna do this?
Yes, Governor.
Couldn't wait to interrupt when it wasn't your turn, and now you don't say shit?
Boudin, thank you for being with us today. Now I'm going to ask
You know a human body has dignity, don't you?
What?
That it's something more than fucking gator feed.
Okay, now.
Look, I gotta go home. I got the kids. It's almost sunfall.
What makes you think you're going home?
I only came here because the guys with the Reapers made me. I got the kids that still work.
You really better get in there.
Boudin, I have to ask you some questions now, all right? So why don't you answer my questions and maybe you can go home.
No, I gotta go now. I already lost a light. I gotta work.
Well, you can't go home, got it? So answer the questions and sit the fuck down!
Ronnie!
You know I couldn't bury my own mother, right? Did you know that?
Ronnie!
Why aren't you writing? Write it down!
Seriously?
I couldn't bury my own mother! Write it down! I watched them cart her off for compost.
Yeah. All right.
So, Boudin, you said Shanna died a few days ago.
Yeah.
So how are you? Are you all right?
What?
How do you feel?
Feel?
I'm sorry. Isn't it getting a bit late to be wasting time determining how Mr. Simmons feels?
She worked hard. She's good with the kids.
But how do you feel, Boudin, when you think about Shanna?
She answered the door. I talked to people. I didn't know what to say, so she talked to people.
What I'm saying, Boudin, is when you think about Shanna, when you look around your house and you see she isn't there, how do you feel?
Cold?
You feel cold?
Cold? I don't know what to do. The kids cry. I don't know what to do.
Have you cried?
I'm sorry, but what
Have you
possible
cried?
relevance?
Can't. Too old.
That's not true. You can be sad no matter how old you are.
Cold mostly. Come in at sunfall and she'd be there and we'd sit together, fuck, smoke choopy, chase the kids. Those are warm, but now it's cold.
You miss her.
What?
You wish she was still alive.
Yeah, alright, I wish that.
She meant a lot to you.
Wishing's nothing. It doesn't do anything, but yeah, I wish that.
You loved her. I need you to answer out loud, Woody.
Yeah.
So then, why did you cut her up for tools, window fencing, and gator feed? If you loved her, why did you do that?
I don't get it.
Doesn't it seem like if you loved her like you say, you would take her whole body, lovely as she was, and bury her down south in the land of the dead?
That's crazy.
Excuse me?
Just put a whole body into the ground? That's crazy.
Why is that crazy? Wouldn't it show how much you cared for her? There'd be a little marker there, and you could go visit her every day if you wanted, and you would always know she was there.
I know she's there now.
What do you mean? You cut her to pieces. How do you know she's there?
Because I work with my new tools all day. And she's there. Like, she's right there working with me. I see my gators fed, almost big enough for killing, so she's there. I see my windows, and now those twitches can't get inside and scare my kids. So she's there. Like she's watching over us while we sleep. Not like it used to be, but she's there. Shanna's there.
All right.
She worked real hard then, and she works real hard now, and don't you say anything bad about her.
We won't.
Miss Miller, can we expect to hear any evidence at all that Boudin Simmons did not break with settlement law this evening?
Mr. Smith, Governor Cook, every law has a letter in its spirit, yes? Our ancestors from the time before, they believed that every law had its own definition, and then behind that definition, the deeper reason it existed, its spirit. Governor Cook?
No, this is good. I'm enjoying it. Why don't you tell me what my own laws mean?
Well, obviously, settlement law was established by a whole body of...
Go on. Tell me what my laws mean.
Under the Honeycomb, when one of our people died, the bugs just took them away. No pause for grief or ceremony, just took them away for digestion in the honeycomb. So the laws that Mr. Smith was talking about, that you must notify authority, you must arrange funeral and burial, those laws were made to give each person's death an individual meaning and dignity, to replace what the honeycomb took away from us.
Miss Miller, it is now fully sundown.
Simmons has clearly, in his own way, honored the life of Shanna Simmons. He's reincorporated the elements of her body into his life which are most meaningful to him. Tools to do his work. Feed for the livestock that gives him his living. Guards on his windows behind which his children sleep. Nothing means more to him.
People don't get to invent their own way of following the law.
I implore the governor to show mercy, to show clemency, and not take a man away from his children who has worked hard in his own way to honor the spirit of her wise and extraordinary law.
What is it?
It can wait.
Governor, we should probably conclude these proceedings.
Sharp, what is it?
Skin,
So, process them and get them in the pen.
not twitches.
Mobile, verbal,
Both. We can bring them in when you're done.
run them through processing. I can see them at the pen. What?
You're going to want to see these yourself.
Lock up. 30 nights, 30 lashings. Get someone out to the kids. They'll stay at schoolhouse for the duration.
Governor, I implore you, the hardship that the Simmons will face.
Did you hear me say 30 and 30? Plus schoolhouse for the kids? For what he did? That's nothing! What did we rise up for, huh? Why did we burn so many bodies? Why did we lose half our number if you're still gonna live like an animal? When someone dies, the town comes out. We wrap her up, we take her to the land of the dead, everyone who remembers her says something, and we put her in the ground together. Because we're not fucking parts. Get them out to the POs and tell them straight to lockup.
And the skins?
Take them around back, don't bring them in till I send for you.
Yeah.
And I can't see shit! Tell one of the guys to turn on the generator!
Got it.
You're done, right? For the day? There's not going to be anything else from you?
Unless you've reconsidered my petition regarding the transitioned prisoners.
We've been here since dawn. I haven't stretched this leg since dawn. Do not fuck with me.
In that case, Governor, you didn't need to ask the question.
Every time there's one that should take us 2 minutes, they always have you.
Yes, Governor.
You can't take everyone, Tanya. You have to start picking.
You'll just work until you die.
Governor Cook says we can find the wisdom of the world in the books from the time before. The ones that I've read said everyone in the time before had someone speaking for them. No one had to stand up and answer alone.
You're done. Go home. All right, Xander, what's left?
First, you sit down.
Forget it.
Sit down. Take weight off it.
I'd only have to get back up, right? Leave it!
Bullshit. The girl got in your face, you're sulking, and you don't want to sit down in front of Mr. Smith.
You know, Ronnie, the fittest men in Coral Settlement would fight to the death just for the privilege of carrying you around all day.
Governor!
Governor, yes, I'm sorry.
What's left?
Just bits.
It's not bits. If it was bits, you wouldn't have to say so.
All right, it's not bits.
Well, then you better talk fast.
Your bug hunters have gone on a number of missions lately.
So?
They leave at night, and they return at night.
My bug hunters aren't council business.
Well, that's another matter entirely, but I'll table that one for now.
Aren't you sweet?
Are your bug hunters collecting and stockpiling the bug water?
All right.
Because I think I have an unimpeachable record when it comes to letting you keep your secrets, Governor. The problem arises when one of your secrets literally gives off a smell. Then the rest of us have to walk around looking at each other, wondering who will be the first to ask.
Anyone who asked at any time, I would have said yes.
Governor, who is likely to ask?
Answered your own question.
So that's settlement manager then, huh? Takes life into own hands each day by asking the governor annoying questions.
Less annoying question is, why wouldn't we? You think no one else is?
Who?
Cubano settlement, Savannah settlement, Wheeling settlement, all up the coast, every farm that's still inhabited. You think they're letting their leftover bug water just sit there?
But with respect, Governor, Cubano, Savannah, Wheeling, those aren't bug nests, are they? We visited them ourselves. They're sovereign states run by human beings.
If they're doing it, we're doing it.
We don't know that they're doing it.
Why would they not be? They'd have to be fools!
And all those vows that we made standing over the charred remains of heroes. We finish this and then never again.
What makes you think it's finished?
Sit. Sit now.
You asked, I said yes. Happy?
The people can smell the bug water. And they stay up in their houses night after night when the peace officers go to bed, and they ask themselves the same thing. Will it happen again? Will the call go out again? Is Ronnie Cook going to sit in my front room and ask me to become a hero?
Look at that wall, Xander.
Yes, Governor.
Touch a name.
Governor, I don't think that's
Pick a name and touch it. How many heroes, Xander? Try to guess. How many heroes did I, personally, not my lieutenants, me, persuade to join the 51st?
I can't possibly imagine.
Usually with a mate, brother, sister, child, parent sitting right next to them, trying to talk them out of it.
Governor, there is no one who does not deeply respect your service to our settlement.
So wouldn't you think I would try anything I could possibly think of before ever having to do that again?
I do believe that.
Then what are we talking about?
It's just, who will be the one to decide when we've tried everything?
What do I have to do to earn the trust of the people I work right next to every fucking day? Do I have to liberate the earth a second time? Tell me, please, that we're finally done.
Just one more matter.
What have we been doing all day? Where's one more matter been all day long?
I thought this one best initially broached between you and me in private.
You mean the council's scared to ask, so you offered to soften me up. Tell me.
Hi, Governor.
Tell me.
Me and Sharp have the skins out back.
We're almost done here.
Got it.
Of course, there is a process in place, Governor, for processing the prisoners.
For fuck's sake, Xander. Oh, what's everyone scared to ask me now?
We need to pull more people off of the Miami dig and put them on the farms.
No.
Well, with respect, I don't think you can just say no. If I properly understand the governing structure...
If I properly understand the governing... How do you even know how to talk like that?
Yes, Governor, I do take your point.
No, actually say it. How do you even know how to talk like that?
From reading books recovered by the Miami dig.
Nothing's more important than Miami dig. Miami dig's number one.
I would venture to say that food is more important.
I'm sorry, is someone starving?
Infrastructure is more important.
Fee. Ever think of your infrastructure again?
Never heard it before.
Well, the family farms, the common farms,
Who's starving?
They're producing enough now, but you have to watch how many babies are being born. And you have to keep count. And then you have to keep in mind that those babies are going to grow up and have more babies. We need larger farms. We need to consolidate the farms out there under settlement control. We need to enforce best practices for maximum crop yield.
When does he breathe?
And then we need longboats and wider canals for transporting the crop, and still have enough left over to house a prison full of twitches that don't know how to feed themselves. And all of that takes bodies. And the only place to get bodies is from the hundreds we currently have digging up Miami.
You've given a lot of thought to how you're going to remake my settlement, haven't you?
The others, they were too frightened to ask. And I told them, aren't you more frightened of what'll happen if we just let the situation fester?
I'm curious, where and when did this conversation take place?
We have likely accomplished all that we are going to this day.
Sounds good to me.
Shit, I'm glad that's over.
Yes, well, be welcome back. I'm glad to see that your team has returned safely.
Hey, better than safely, man.
Yes.
We brought treats.
Yes, and I'm sure at some point this evening the governor will have you send your treats to lockup for proper documentation.
And I'm sure I'll do whatever the fuck Ronnie says.
I'll be back in the morning.
Oh man, it feels good to get that thing off.
Let's see him.
Now? You want him now? Or do you need a couple minutes? Why don't you take a couple minutes, maybe go upstairs, stretch out? You just got done with shitmouth there. You probably need a couple minutes.
No?
No? Bring him on in.
Yeah, now.
I hope you weren't worried about me.
What?
It's good with her, right? She knows?
I'll see the skins now, please.
Because you shouldn't have been worried about me. Not a scratch, not a slash. All intact.
Good. Good. I'm glad.
Yeah?
I'm glad you're not hurt, Wilkie.
Well, you can check for yourself a little later, right?
Wilkie, the skins?
You definitely don't need a couple minutes. Because if it's about the stairs...
Wilkie, she doesn't need a couple minutes. Bring them in.
You got it, you got it, you got it. Now that's what I've been missing.
You ever just tried No Man?
He's alright.
No Man's been fine with me for a while.
Can't stand it. My brain races all night.
Peace of mind.
I don't do that anyway, so...
Do you want to be standing or sitting when they come in?
Sitting. Don't let them think they're a big deal.
Alright.
How's,
Little Shirley?
Yeah.
Good this week. Worked real hard.
The others?
The others?
Come on, give me a break.
I mean, Ronnie, they're old enough to fetch and carry.
Yeah.
Most days I don't see them when the sun's up.
Fuck.
It's the kind of thing you notice not having giant flying bugs to carry props around anymore. You start to feel it in your back. You gonna lash me?
Anybody else?
I know.
I'll come see her. Little Shirley, day after tomorrow. Are you back here tomorrow?
Rather not, but if you need
No,
me.
skip it. Cassie can take notes. And my big men are back if someone has to lug me around.
Stretch it like I told you.
Yeah.
You know, Ronnie, if I reminded you of everything I've ever done for you.
No.
And then got on my knees and begged you to use the walking stick they made you. Everyone can see how it hurts.
And they're taking the right lesson.
Where do you put it when you're fucking?
I don't feel it when I'm fucking.
You're lying.
That's another reason.
So I can tell little Shirley 2 days?
Short of another war.
Can I tell her 2 days?
Yeah, Fee.
My governor, my one and only governor. These are for you.
What the fuck is this?
Sorry, caution.
Precaution against what?
Well, we lied a bit.
I'm listening.
You had shitmouth in here, strutting up and down.
Shitmouth's the manager of Coral Settlement. I appointed him. You can call him manager or Mr. Smith.
You appointed that guy?
What did you lie about, Sharp?
I said skins. Only one's a skin. This one.
I'm not a skin.
Is she?
Skin or Namus, one of the two, I think Skin.
Why?
The way she uses her body. She's far along, no doubt, but
Not like those twitchers you find in the woods with the shit drying on their legs because they don't have sense to wipe it off.
it's new. That's what it is, the body. Every time she moves a finger, it's like a mirror.
I'm not a Skin, please!
But why either Skin or Nampus?
Wait a minute.
Because no one but a Skin or Namus would be with him.
Me and Sharp have been with you how long?
You go back to Cabana, the second battle of the war.
We found you in the hills with those crazy fuckers eating snakes.
Point is, we were senior men. You always gave us the hardest job.
Guarding command wanted to by more people than anybody else in the world. Mr. Abbey Cook.
Oh my god. Step away from him.
What happened to your leg?
We, stand into a place of any.
If you'd run him through lockup.
Folks around here remember him.
I'm not afraid of a bug the size of my house, but I am afraid of every grandma in this town who lost babies to this traitor and his fucking friends.
They tear them to pieces. There's the pieces that we got in between.
This is still here. We're still here.
Which way were they going?
Northwest.
Feet?
Go to hell. Running or somewhere in particular?
Couldn't tell.
Northwest.
You made a promise to someone 8 years ago that you'd always keep me safe. Now there are any number of ways you could break that promise, but there's only one way to keep it.
Are we letting him talk?
You have to get me out of here. Before sunrise, before anyone sees me. That's what? 8 hours? You'd better think fast.
Governor, follow any order you give, you know that.
That's not her, is it?
Shut up.
Who?
I don't understand.
Not who?
What did I do?
Nothing.
I'm not who!
Ronnie House 4! This is Coral Settlement, yes? That's where Ronnie House 4 lives.
Won't you know her when you see her?
Well, she has many faces. Or to be more precise, many people carry the mantle of her name. On every farm, Ronnie would come, always with a different face. But there's only one true Ronnie House 4.
Claire, enough!
I'm sorry. I'll stop talking.
Is that right? The one true Ronnie House 4. How will you know her when you see her?
Don't I have to answer her? I'm her prisoner.
What's the point?
It's a simple question. How will you know her?
Well, I would have to rely on description.
No kidding. Description?
Well, they say she's small, but terrible. A headdress made of honeycomb antenna, honeycomb heads hanging on her wall, honeycomb blood like a crust on her skin.
Is that right? This lady never washes off.
Not honeycomb blood, that's what they say, not ever.
Wouldn't it just go rancid and she'd breathe it in and die?
Oh, well, yes, that's a wonderful point.
Is that a wonderful point?
Well, I suppose since we don't process oxygen the same way you do, I didn't really consider that...
When you say Ronnie House 4, what do you mean?
It's a designation. It's a honeycomb device designation that usefully groups human beings according to their present domicile.
Okay, this is stupid. Claire,
Maybe if he was over there a bit and not talking.
What? What did I do? I'm sorry, did I just speak? Please. Hey, wait, what are you doing to him?
You're right. It was useful. It was a useful designation.
Please don't hurt him anymore.
This here, this house we're in right now, this domicile, this was House 4. For about 12 years and change. So anybody who lived in this house, for as long as they were here, they were House 4. Whenever Ronnie was in this house to have her baby, she was Ronnie House 4. Whenever she had the baby, that baby went to House 1, and Ronnie went the whole opposite way down the bank and became Ronnie House 38 again. You're right. It was useful. This is House 4? Oh, you think that's something? This will really blow your mind. Before this was a domicile, this was the plain old ante-Buggum human house. Can you believe that? You're sitting in a museum right now.
I feel as though you're angry.
I can take you on a tour. I can show you the rooms upstairs. The one where the mother and father slept. The one where the brother hardly ever slept. And the one where the sister never slept. Couldn't preserve original conditions, though, sorry. Got 5 bug hunters to a squad up there now, but you could get a sense of what the Cook residence was like before the bugs made us call it House 4. If I was to take you up there, which will never fucking happen.
By bugs, do you mean the people of the honeycomb?
But now that the bugs aren't telling us what to call anything, Now that this building is the governor's office and the Coral Settlement Authority, anybody who would still call me Ronnie House 4 would have to be one of the bugs. How are you enjoying the body?
Please forgive me.
What's your name? Oh, sorry. What was the name of the person who used to live here?
Ronnie, you can't go down like that.
Clear it.
It's me, right, Claire? All those road endings? All the tingly places? Have you found them all yet?
Please, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know.
You know one spot they don't tell you about? Skin lovers like Abby. They go straight between your legs every time, and they never stop to tell you how much you can feel in your ear.
Ronnie, look at it! There's no point! Shut the fuck up!
Yeah?
I'm sorry. I don't know what I said, but I take it back. I take it back 1,000 times.
You feel that? Intense, right? A man knows what to do with your ears. You never let him go.
Huh.
Now you have just a little bit of fingernail on, just a little bit. Oh, you noticed that? You feel that? Oh, it's okay if you want to cry. It's a big feeling. It's new. Oh, but I'm being rude. I didn't answer your question. The answer is, when I say bugs, I don't mean people of the honeycomb. I mean fucking bugs!
God damn it, Ronnie, stop!
And if you want to talk to me, if you want my attention, try to remember this. My name is Ronnie Cook!
Ronnie, she understands!
I thought you were dead! God damn it!
All right, shut up. I got this.
Oh, God damn it!
Hey, we're gonna take this a bit at a time.
Governor, are you hurt?
What the fuck are you doing here? Come on!
Come on, this is your fault.
You. I know you, don't I? Yes, I've seen you strapped to the back of a flyer. They don't make a habit of flying humans around. Even the top Nompus. So anytime they made an exception, you always paid close attention to the person's face and tried to guess why.
I am who you think I am.
I left my notes behind. My intention was to ignore whatever I found happening here.
Still could.
Hello, Abby Cook. My name is Xander Smith, formerly Xander House 22. It's all right if you don't remember me. I would have been a number of young skinny men picking vegetables on the former Coral Farm. I wouldn't have stood out in any way.
All right.
The problem is that I stand out now. I am manager of Coral Settlement. People know who I am.
So?
People also know that I didn't do anything of any note during the war. People of this settlement respect me, but only because I've organized it, impeccably, for years. And all that respect can disappear in an instant. I only have to fuck up once.
Why is he telling me this?
If the people of this settlement were to find out tomorrow morning that Abby Cook, the world's greatest living war criminal, was within our grasp, and that I saw him and turned a blind eye and allowed his sister to spirit him away, like she did so many times during the war, why, I'd be finished. They wouldn't blame your sister, that's what's amazing. They wouldn't blame me. They wouldn't let me shovel gator shit. I'd have to walk out into the night with the shirt on my back.
Xander, I get it.
Where was he found?
North Mangroves headed northwest.
Does that ever get old, Mr. Smith?
What's that?
Everybody looking to Ronnie for permission before they'll so much as answer a question.
Mr. Cook, any differences I have with the governor shrink to insignificance when compared to the ones I have with you. Now, Governor, we should find somewhere private to talk now.
Northwest.
What?
They were headed northwest?
Tell me if I'm wrong.
About directions, you're never wrong.
But there's nothing northwest. Not for weeks. Am I wrong about that?
A few dozen Nompus head out that way, but we cleaned them out. Shit. Forever ago.
Everglades. Abby, shh! Yeah, that's a live one.
What are you thinking?
Remember back when only bits of the world were swamp?
Rings a bell.
Those were the places my dad hid the bug eggs in the time before.
But they all hatched, right? There's nothing there now.
That's what I thought, but it is northwest. Boys?
We stand at your pleasure day and night.
Pick up the trail?
I know you only just got back.
Well, now you're mistaking us for some crybabies in your employ.
Am I?
Tired?
Not these hands.
I said tired.
Not these feet.
I said tired.
Not these arms, not these knees, and not these eyes.
Lure him down.
Under the chin!
I didn't catch that. Lure him down?
That's under the chin!
We're the governor's guys with naps. Or for some other guys. If it's out there,
it'll be back here.
Love it.
Send someone in.
No. Tell the POs to look sharp, but to stay outside.
You'll be alright?
Come on.
Alright then.
Good hunting.
Only kind.
They probably won't find anything. Sorry, Xander, you were being reasonable.
You don't want to find somewhere private.
Why?
You made a famous promise.
A long time ago.
You understand where you've put me, right? If I think that you're going to let him walk, I need to get in the longboats and start banging on doors.
You should do that.
What?
Get in the longboats, bang on doors, wake up the town, tie me to a post, let him kill me. I'm sure your legal system can tolerate one exception, right? It's not like mob rules ever been habit forming. It's not like you're holding this settlement together with spit, bubblegum, and my sister's reputation. So wake him up, let him kill me. I'm sure you can calm everyone right down afterwards.
He's disgusting, but he's right.
Well, then you better think of something. Sun comes up, someone looks in the window, they'll tear this house down with their hands to get to him.
All right.
You want to be a hero?
All right.
Get it done, wipe it off. I'll do this again.
All right, Governor.
Man of your age, not one kill to your name. This could be the night.
Yes, Governor, thank you.
So tell me your better idea.
We need to do this right. We're not at war anymore. We have a process in place for prisoners.
Everybody's gone home.
What process?
For Abby, we don't have a process for you. You're an M.
I meant you and I. Together we hold the discretionary power to conduct a trial with no other justices of the council present. We just got done doing it with Boudin.
Provided a defender is
Provided
present.
a defender is present.
We haven't done a midnight trial since the war.
Nothing in the code of law dictates the time of day.
So everyone wakes up tomorrow.
And justice is done. The process is still intact, and to top it off, we'll be able to throw Abby Cook's body to their feet. We'll be heroes. We'll be able to push through anything we need to for months, but, Governor, you have to understand, there is no way he walks out of this house alive.
Yeah.
So then we need a defender.
You know who's probably still up?
God. Oh no. God.
Superior little snot. No one has to stand up and answer alone. Bring her in here and tell her she's speaking for Abby Cook.
I know where she lives.
And be quiet about it.
Of course.
What are the charges?
What's that?
The charges. Which of your laws will you say that I broke?
Well, murder, I imagine to start.
Well, I haven't killed anyone. Oh, that's right, manager. Turns out we have more in common than just getting pushed around by my sister.
Treason. Our law specifies treason against Coral Settlement.
Coral Settlement didn't exist when I did what I did. It wasn't a sovereign state. So how is it that I committed treason against something that didn't exist?
Well, obviously, we're going to need to deliberate, but I can assure you, Mr. Cook, that you are not...
I didn't commit murder. I didn't commit treason. So unless you have a law against genocide, you have to let me go. Do you have a law against genocide?
Hasn't really come up yet.
Then you have to let me go. Are you a civilization or not?
So you can keep running northwest?
Or wherever?
Governor, we need to find a place private and we need to talk.
You don't need to talk, you need to let me go.
Because you're so fucking smart.
Is this a civilization or not?
Such a smart little kid.
Oh, I'm sorry, I asked you a question.
You think this is funny? All of my babies died. Every one of them. You want to smirk him too?
Of course, Governor, we could have a law against genocide. Granted, you and I both agree. We also hold the discretionary power to add a code to the law, even in the absence of other justices.
Get the book.
I'll start a draft.
Are you fucking serious?
By resolve, have a joint decree.
Is this how you do things? On a damn sketch pad?
Oh, what? Does it take you back?
Is that why you're digging up Miami? For school supplies?
You've been watching us?
You, gotta keep your nostalgia stocked, I guess.
Just a minute more.
Is that a radio?
Radio, actually.
Yeah? I stayed with some Napas who had captured one once. That was fun. Sitting up, listening to people yell through the static. Have you met Ronnie? What's she like? Ronnie, until the batteries ran out.
Never thought about captured radios. Is that how you figured out about the Buckwater?
Not soon enough.
Or attempted.
Is that a thermos?
When did you last say that word?
Can I see it?
No.
Why not?
You can see this.
I can see the phone, but not the thermos.
Take it. I want you to.
You got internet on this thing?
Oh, why? You want to check your email?
It's probably piling up.
Alright, how about this? Resolved by joint decree of Governor Cook and Settlement Manager Xander Smith that the extermination or attempted extermination of an entire race is prohibited on Coral Settlement and is punishable by death in every instance of a guilty finding.
Yeah, alright.
We both have to endorse.
Yeah.
Governor, if we both sign this, that's it.
How many times do you think you gotta explain this to me?
Abby Cook, by my authority as manager of Coral Settlement, I am hereby detaining you under the charge of attempted genocide. An advocate will be provided and provisions will be made for you to answer the charges as presented. Do you understand what I've just explained to you?
It does take me back. I'll give you that.
Mr. Cook.
I understand.
You can get it.
I run errands for you now?
Or you can watch me get it.
Get what?
Better keep it moving.
What about the skin?
After we're done here, we'll have our guys shake out whatever she's got.
You want me to send some POs in?
I don't want anyone seeing him.
I meant for your protection.
Hey there! I'm safe.
I won't be long.
So,
Yeah?
it's been what?
5 years?
Close to
4?
6.
Haven't had any way of keeping track.
Been sleeping rough the whole time?
Running, mostly.
That's what I figured.
Not if I could just beat you to one farm.
Stayed up nights, scared you would.
If I could warn one nest, they could put out the call.
Would have been all over.
How'd you know to take down the entire nest to affect the global honeycomb?
How do you think?
Connor,
There it is.
I tried heading in the opposite direction that you were going. But still, every farm I would get there, the nest would be on fire and everyone would be talking about Ronnie. How could she beat me everywhere that I went? Until one day, someone pointed out a woman that I had never seen before and said, "That's her. That's Ronnie."
They were talking about me on the radio. I couldn't be everywhere at once.
So you told your recruiters.
Tell people your name is Ronnie. People like to have a name.
The nest would fall and we'd guard the next one even tighter.
Doesn't matter how tight if you're looking the wrong way. Looking for an army to come out of the trees instead of your own people you've known for years.
'Cause who thinks twice about a water bottle, right? Especially when you're a race still trying to understand the basic concept of betrayal.
Well, you and Dad were right there if they needed pointers.
Boy, this didn't take long, did it?
Or you can try shutting up.
You know you're not the only one, right? Folks around the world started to figure out about the bug water. Even we did, after it was too late. They've built this whole stupid fucking myth around you. But you're not the only one.
I'm the only one who knew how to use it right. I'm the only one who had Connor.
We would have worked with you, Ronnie Cook. We still would. Sorry.
What is she, an ambassador?
Zoologist.
An anthropologist.
Yes, right. Anthropologist.
Well, which?
I study humans.
You study humans.
Well, I observe only. I never hurt anyone. I only observe. Please don't hurt me, Ronnie Cook.
Where did you find this one?
Will you just leave her alone?
Will you just leave her alone? Oh, maybe I'll leave you both alone. How about that?
Sounds great. God, benches, knickknacks everywhere. Mom would have hated this.
She might have liked that it's mine.
Electric lights.
Diesel generator mostly. Some vinegar batteries, potato batteries.
No, it's totally impressive. It's just...
What?
Why'd you put your office here instead of some other house?
Got used to it.
You used to hate it here in the time before. When we were kids, you used to sneak out like all the time.
Things changed.
What happened to your leg?
Any of the hundreds of things that can happen to a leg in a war. The fuck do you care which one?
Why don't you have a walking stick?
They would fucking love it. I can't get you out of this.
All right.
And I don't want to.
So, Sorry, Ronnie. It was under a lot of shit.
Wait, is that?
You can give it to him.
I won't.
Your drawings. Have a little nostalgia before you die.
You draw?
No. A long time ago.
Let me see. Let's get you to your chair.
In a second.
They didn't even grow up to be heroes.
You know they would have been.
The bald woman.
What?
You remember this? The bald woman?
I haven't looked at that shit in years.
Oh, but you remember, right? I saw the bald woman. She's out on the porch.
Look at your shit and shut up. It's almost over.
What about her?
You know what?
Pull off her fingernails till she gives up a couple nampas, then throw her to the gators?
Or just the second one. These days, gator feed's more valuable than intelligence.
And I guess it doesn't complicate things that she's carrying my child?
Abby!
Right there.
Yes,
And you're old enough to remember him?
just barely.
Ronnie.
Not now, leave it.
Let's be clear, though. You're taking a risk. This will all come out tomorrow, but maybe when we throw his body into the commons, everything will be forgotten in the rejoicing. But there's still a chance that when people find out you defended Abby Cook, it could come back on you.
Let me see this new law.
Now, we'll have your back. The governor and I will have your back and all, but still, there's a chance.
I'd like a minute, please.
Jesus' sake, it's not 10 words.
I have a condition.
Excuse me?
I'm coming in blind. I haven't interviewed the accused. I'm not prepared in any way, and I assume I can't call any witnesses outside of this room.
Of course not.
So I need to be able to question him at length. Any question I want. I need total latitude.
You don't give me conditions.
Or I don't have to do it. You can wake up someone else, tell them Abby Cook is here, and have them do it.
What is your thing with me?
I'd ask the same thing to you, Governor, but I'd rather ask interesting questions.
Sun's up in 8 hours. This needs to be over by then.
I agree.
Well, great. You agree. Set it up.
You'll sit here for questioning.
All right.
You can sit here with me. Abby.
It's all right.
You must be gentle.
I will be.
Miss Holmes, it would confer some legitimacy on these proceedings if you could take notes.
Fuck that. Go get some sleep.
Fuck that, I'm not missing this.
Mr. Cook, we're going to get right into it. I'm sure you understand.
I'm ready.
This proceeding is Coral Settlement's prosecution of Abby Cook for the crime of attempted genocide. Settlement Manager Sanders Smith speaks for Coral Settlement. Tanya Miller for the accused. Governor Veronica Cook presides. Sir, can you confirm that you are, in fact, Abby Cook?
Yes, I am Abby Cook.
Mr. Cook, do you promise that every statement you make this evening will be true on your honor?
Yes.
Mr. Cook, is it true to say that you are the son of William Cook, the man who brokered the original deal with the Honeycomb to invade and occupy Earth?
Yes, I am.
And in wake of the Honeycomb's invasion, you assisted your father in his role as representative of the Honeycomb to the human race.
Yes, that's right.
Tell me how you assisted him.
The Honeycomb initially kept humans in crude enclosures while they began the initial phase of terraforming the Earth. I traveled to these enclosures with my father and Connor to speak with the human survivors and explain to them the new system in which life on Earth would operate.
Meaning slavery.
I know that's the word that human propagandists use.
I'm sorry. What is your preferred word for compulsory, uncompensated daily labor?
What exactly did you think the Honeycomb was doing? Reclining in sofas? They were working 2 and twice as many hours as you were.
With bodies that are 10 times as strong and need nearly no sleep.
Bodies that... You know what? We don't have to have this argument. You won.
Is it true to also say that around this time you formed a close relationship with a member of the Honeycomb, a Connor Wells?
He wasn't named Connor Wells. He wasn't named anything. He was a honeycomb consciousness who was trapped inside the body of a human who was known as Connor Wells.
Ah, a honeycomb consciousness trapped inside the body of a human. And tell me, how did this consciousness come to be trapped inside this human?
My father and his crew of astronauts first encountered the honeycomb on Mars. They had no way to speak to one another. Humans aren't telepathic. So it was the honeycomb ambassador's idea to attempt to establish a telepathic link between himself and one of the humans. Connor Wells volunteered.
But it didn't work.
No, it did. Briefly. Long enough for Connor to translate the honeycomb's offer to Earth to my father and his crew. And then the telepathic link broke down.
And the result?
The honeycomb ambassador's mind superseded and destroyed Connor's. Without a brain, the ambassador's insectoid body died, leaving him trapped and forced to live out the remainder of his days inside Connor's human body.
Must have been a shock.
Yeah, he was lost for a long time. When my father brought him back to Earth, he told everyone that Connor had suffered a stroke, lost his memory, motor skills.
And subsequently brought him back to live with you and your family in the very house that we are standing in now.
Yes.
How old were you at this time?
13.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. This is the house that you grew up in. Governor Cook.
Oh, we didn't call her Governor Cook back then.
Did you know about this?
Obviously I knew this, Miss Miller. Now may I continue? So, Mr. Cook, around the time that you discovered that Connor Wells was in fact an alien life form inside a human body, how did you react?
How did I react?
How did you feel?
I felt like I had always known. I looked at him and I thought, of course.
After the Honeycomb's invasion, you began a romantic relationship with Connor. Is that true?
After.
Or did it start before?
I mean, I had met Connor before, but I had met Dad's whole crew. They used to come over a lot, but to me they were just a blur, you know, boring adults, indistinguishable. When Connor came back from Mars, Dad brought him home and said, Connor's going to live with us now. I looked at him, he looked at me.
Mr. Cook.
We always loved each other. From the very first minute, we never stopped.
Never stopped until he died, sacrificing his body to topple the Coral Farm Honeycomb.
Yeah.
At which point he had in fact defected from the Honeycomb and joined the human resistance.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure that was
Keep
clear.
it moving.
So, now this process that put the Honeycomb consciousness inside the body...
It wasn't a process, it was a mistake.
It was a mistake that became a process, right?
The Honeycomb discovered that the transition could be repeated.
And each time the result was the same. The insectoid body dies, the human body dies, but the human mind stays alive with a foreign consciousness trapped inside, suffering and disoriented, requiring months, if not years of training to be able to walk or talk. Is that right?
And cut off from the voices of their people. Utterly, completely alone in a way that no human being could possibly have the context to imagine.
That's what I'm saying, Mr. Cook. Why repeat the experiment? If the outcome was so traumatizing, why not stop with Connor?
We began to see other applications.
Other applications, including placing spies inside of human homes to root out resistance fighters.
No, not just that. We were also working on a common sign language, a way to further communication
but also to spy.
Yeah, sure.
Now there was one other application that you began to see. What was that application, Mr. Cook?
Why don't you ask the governor?
The governor?
Why don't you ask Governor Cook and all the people like her who formed murder parties and settlements around the world and snuck out at night to kill human and honeycomb alike, the ones who ensured that the rest of us, human and honeycomb, lived out our days in never-ending terror? Why don't you ask her why we might have thought of another reason to put honeycomb minds in human bodies?
But the question isn't why, Mr. Cook. The question is what. What was that application?
For peace! Peace at long last between human and honeycomb!
Peace achieved how?
By putting every human through the transition process.
To put a honeycomb consciousness inside the mind of every living human.
Every single one.
But the world's a big place, right? You would have to start somewhere. I mean, where was this process of global transition supposed to begin?
Obviously, I already know the answer to this question, so I don't know why the fuck I'm wasting my time answering.
I know the answer to a lot of these questions, Mr. Cook. I'm asking them anyway.
Right here. Coral Farm. Coral Farm would be first.
Right here. Coral Farm, right where the process of annihilating every human mind would begin.
While saving every human body.
A worldwide massacre.
A worldwide improvement. An enhancement of a savage, impoverished race.
Abby, please be gentle.
And you, Mr. Cook, you were party to this plan in advance.
I was one of its creators.
You promoted the idea amongst the honeycomb.
I pushed it every day. Every time they delayed, I pushed it even harder. And you want to know why?
I haven't asked why.
Because without me, they would have never decided to do it. They would have spent an eternity in the honeycomb, bickering amongst themselves, a million voices, a million points of moral minutia. I'm the one who pushed them to act.
And when they did act...
Seriously?
And when they did act, Mr. Cook...
You're just gonna skip right over the best part.
Who the fuck am I talking to?
Ask him what his part was going to be in the global transition.
I'm not hiding it.
Governor, I must be able to run my...
Ask him!
Mr. Cook,
I volunteered to be first.
First to be transitioned.
That's right.
Ask him why.
You know why.
Do I?
You've known me my whole life. I was just some weak, skinny kid. Why wouldn't I want to be something more than that?
So you volunteered to be first, to have your mind replaced with a foreign, alien consciousness.
The first to be reborn. Reborn as a member of a new race.
Ah, the new race in place of the old.
Meaning?
Meaning that for this new race to be born, one that already existed had to be overwritten, had to be expunged.
Yes, if that's what it took. For peace, for security, for an unspoiled, thriving ecosystem on this planet. Yes, absolutely. I just wish I'd made them do it sooner.
Miss Miller, Governor Cook, I do believe I have just elicited a confession from Abby Cook, attesting to his central role in the plot to destroy the mind of every living human. I present to you in simpler terms, a man confessing to attempted genocide.
Are you saying you're finished, Manager Smith?
I am, Governor. I don't think it gets much plainer than that. Miss Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Cook, you stated earlier that you and the governor grew up in this house.
That's right.
How far apart were you born?
A little less than 2 years.
And you're the younger, or?
That's right.
Which room did you two sleep in?
We actually had separate rooms. Mine was the second one on the left. At the end of the hall was, I guess, the governor's. Is it still?
You had separate rooms?
Yeah. It's funny, right? That used to happen a lot in the time before. Some places, anyway. Some places weren't like that. Some places really didn't change that much when the honeycomb took over. Places with 7, 8, 9 in a room. Kids and grown-ups all together. Still other places didn't change at all. Unless you count getting clean water and regular meals for the first time.
None of that sounds like what she asked you.
Growing up in 2 separate rooms, that didn't create a distance between the two of you as children?
You're a little different, aren't you?
Different from what?
Respectfully, I don't see how we could be any further from
My
the topic
arrangement
under
with
discussion.
the governor is that I may ask the accused any question I want as long as I finish in time for you to kill him before dawn. Now may I continue or not?
It didn't create a distance.
No?
No, we were close.
Would you go as far to say that you and the governor were friends?
That's your question?
Please.
You know, under different circumstances, I might be worried about the quality of my representation.
And under current circumstances?
I like it. Yeah, we were friends, for whatever that's worth now. She used to look after me. I couldn't look after myself, so she looked after me. God.
What is it?
This room. Jesus, I never thought I'd be back in this room. You never know to look at it now, but this room used to be a place to sit in, relax. We used to stay up in here all night. She'd be venting, you know, someone pissed her off. Mom, Dad, someone at school. I'd be drawing. Actually, do you mind?
Not at all.
Actually, we prefer that you remain seated for the duration of the exam.
You see this one?
Drew that?
I saw the bald woman, Governor. I swear, when they were bringing me in, I saw her.
That's enough.
She's on the porch right now, Ronnie, I swear.
I'm sorry, what is happening?
What is this?
You told each other scary stories when you were kids, right? Or someone told them to you?
You're asking me.
She grew up inside a scary story.
So she'd have to invent a new one. Giant bugs aren't scary if you see them every day. The bald woman was our scary story. She was skinny. She was hairless. She was all teeth, claws. We used to sit up in this room all night, convincing each other she was right there, right outside the door.
Do you remember this, Governor, the bald woman?
No.
What? You're kidding, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No? Then go open the door. If she's not outside, right now, crawling on her knees, then open the door.
Miss Miller, are you controlling this session or not?
It's actually funny to think about now.
What is?
The way we felt about the bald woman, that's how the Honeycomb feels about Ronnie. The Numpus and I used to see it all the time. We even had a special sign in the hands language to show them when a nest had burned down. They would ask and we would say, Ronnie, House 4 was here. It would spread through the telepathic net like lightning. Ronnie, House 4 was here. The bringer of death was here. And next she's going there. Tomorrow or the next day, but she will come. And your nest will burn to the earth. You know, in their 10,000-year history, they have never been more afraid of anything than they were of you.
Mr. Cook, I need you to focus now.
All right.
How long did you and the governor remain close?
Right up until
The Honeycomb invasion, at which point you chose different sides.
I stood with my father. I believed he was right. You know what? Forget believed. He was right.
Right about what?
Ah, this sad old shit.
I'm sorry?
Saying this sad old shit again.
Saddled shit because it's wrong?
Sad old shit because no one ever listens. Sad old shit because every day everyone forgets a little bit more of it.
Forgets what?
Forgets what we were before. Forgets we used to suck sludge out of the ground and set it on fire to live. Forgets that the bullies hoarded most of everything and stomped on anyone who dared to say so. Forgets that every day more and more people had nothing that gave birth to more and more people with nothing. Forgets that people on this side of the world used to just jerk off every day while the rest of the world went without. Forgets that the planet got sicker, hotter, meaner, closer to death every single day.
Miss Miller, I do believe we're ready
Because
for another
nobody remembers
question.
that, everyone is fine to walk around and curse me and curse my father's name because the very fact that he succeeded meant that no one would know that he was right. And some days, I look around at you, and I look around at all of them. And some days, I wish you'd failed. I wish you'd given up. I wish he'd just let you all live in hell.
We don't live in hell.
Abby, be gentle.
Why the fuck do you care if he's gentle?
what do you make of the fact, Mr. Cook, that so many people disagreed with you that they gave their lives in horrible agony to end the Honeycomb occupation?
Occupation? They needed somewhere to live. Is that who we are now? Go away? Go someplace else and die as long as I don't have to see?
But what do you make
Oh,
of
stop talking like you're unveiling some great mysterious virtue. You're talking about nothing. If you spring a gator from a trap, it's still a gator. It's not going to say thanks. It's going to turn around and fucking bite you. And that is all that you're talking about.
That's a metaphor. I know metaphors. What? We sprung the human race from its trap, but they bit us anyway. I know metaphors.
What is that?
It's gotta be bound, right?
If it wasn't bound, we'd have heard an outbell.
Shit, that close one of the scouts would have seen it days ago. You know what it sounds like, right?
No.
Send a runner. Get eyes on it now!
The contingency?
Filled it up yesterday.
Do I continue?
What contingency?
Keep going for now.
Mr. Cook, given how close you and your sister once were, what was your reaction when you found out that she was running an insurgency out of the house that you grew up in?
I couldn't do anything. The Honeycomb wanted proof. Somehow proof beyond it couldn't be anyone else. All I could do was try and talk her out of it. Should have heard some of those conversations.
I wish I had.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do. Why didn't you ever try to have her killed?
What?
That's what I've never understood. If the governor was so important to the resistance, why not just kill her?
I'm sorry, but Miss Miller, the point of this trial is not to help you with what you've never understood.
Don't you want to understand? This is Abby Cook. This is history sitting in a chair. In a few hours, he'll be gator feed. Don't you want to ask him every possible question you can?
No, I don't. Who cares? We have problems in this settlement, real actual problems that demand our attention now. And we're up all night rehashing the same tired shit.
Mr. Cook, why?
Bill Cook, Abby Cook, Connor Wells. When do we get to stop talking about
Why
this?
didn't you try and have her killed?
What?
So many other people were killed. You may not have killed anyone yourself, but you had no problem watching so many other people die.
I had no problem.
So why not kill Ronnie?
I tried to send her away to Savannah Farm.
So she could start another insurgency there.
I guess, probably.
Why didn't you kill her? Mr. Cook, you're going to die. Within hours. You may not get another chance.
Look, I should have, okay?
You
It's just
should
that
have.
obviously now, looking back,
Obviously?
somebody would still be alive today.
How could you have known?
I was a weak kid in the time before. Other kids saw how easily they could hurt me and they just couldn't resist. One day, Ronnie caught one of them hurting me and she...
Mr. Cook?
She beat him. Beat him until he begged her to stop. Blood, snot, all over his face. He sounded like a baby bird.
That really happened?
Miss Miller, please.
Did that really happen?
I knew what she was, what she could do, what she was capable of. There's no way I can say that I didn't.
So why didn't you kill her? Mr. Cook, I'll ask you another question. At the time that you made the deal with the Honeycomb to transition into every living human body,
Right?
at that time was the Honeycomb capable of killing every living human?
Come on.
Please answer the question. At that time,
Of course,
was
what kind of question is that? They took over the world when we had weapons that you couldn't even imagine. It took them a month.
So you could have stopped the insurgent raids by simply exterminating us all in a matter of weeks.
That wasn't the deal.
You're talking about the deal your father made on Mars.
Save our people and we'll save yours.
So by going through this transition process instead of simply killing us all...
You put the nails together pretty quick, don't you?
You thought you were partially saving us?
Not just me. The governor believes it too.
What?
One moment, Mr.
You
Cook.
piece of shit.
One moment,
What
Governor.
did you say?
Do you care to clarify that?
Right here in Coral Settlement, you have a large penal facility that houses transitioned humans, right? Oh, I'm sorry. You probably know them better as skins or twitches.
You have been watching
I don't
us.
care for those terms.
Maybe not, but you still live under the protection of a settlement who treats them like animals. So don't go patting yourself on the back.
Can you imagine how frightened they are?
The people of the Honeycomb watched their nests burn to the earth, and they fled in panic to the nearest human body. No one around to teach them how to use it. They were lost, weak, uncoordinated, not even a shred of language to beg for help. Stop me when I say something wrong.
There's a difference between wrong and irrelevant.
Ask her why she houses them. Ask her why she feeds them. The governor obviously had no problem killing the Honeycomb in their insectoid form, so why does she undertake the colossal effort of keeping the transitioned ones alive?
Oh, you don't know the half of it!
Okay, you want to do this?
Mr. Governor Cook, my condition
Why do
is
you keep
clear.
them alive?
You want to do
Because you know that they're still human in almost every way. Sensory perception, digestion, reproduction, you name it, all still human.
I swear to God!
Are we anywhere near some sort of argument?
Mr. Cook, something just occurred to me.
Yeah, I can see that. Good for you.
Reproduction.
You're so close. Come
Some-
on,
some of the-
you're so close.
Some of the transition in the prison, they have had children.
Yes, and have you taught any of them language, these children, at all?
We feed them out of our fucking crop! Food they don't work for! Now you think we owe them language?
So that means you can't ask them questions, right?
Mr. Cook, have any other transitioned? Okay, not twitches, but other more advanced ones that transitioned back in the occupation.
Have they had children? Yes. Some of them are as old as 9 years.
Children of two transitioned parents?
You're almost there.
Have they been given language?
I have been wondering for years when one of you would think to ask.
I can see the runner. Actually, I see the bug hunters.
They're already back?
They're dragging something.
What?
Can't tell. Still no bells, though. Nobody seems to think it's an attack.
You. Last question.
Let's make it a good one,
Mr. Cook,
right?
when you give these children language, and you ask them what they can remember...
Not a single one of them can remember the Honeycomb. Not one. Not a kid. None of them can remember their 10,000-year history, their home world, any of the extraordinary things their forebears learned or created. Every single one of them is born fully human.
So even if you had succeeded...
You would have survived. Can you fucking believe that? After everything, you miserable people would have survived.
Governor Cook, I'm going to request now that the charge of attempted genocide be summarily dismissed.
What?
I'm going to request that...
Okay, first of all, what he's saying is...
Both of you, shut up!
Governor, listen, Governor.
I said shut up! What the fuck is happening out there?
Ronnie, Governor, you have to see this.
Oh, what is that?
See? Get on my side!
We're tying it up. Got some guys to drag it back. Don't worry, guys, we trust.
Right under our noses, God knows how long.
It's gonna wake up half the damn settlement!
No.
This is the end of everything.
No!
It is, isn't it?
It's the queen! It's the fucking queen!
It's running when we found it. All covered in some kind of slime. Dragging those eggs.
Governor, I'm so ashamed.
Eggs?
Like thousands of them, honey. Thousands of them.
How close to hatching?
Hard to say, but look at them, they're full size.
It's gonna wake up the entire settlement!
Just running northwest, huh? You stop for a little burn nothing special? Burn it! Get the stuff, burn her! Burn the stuff, burn it!
You can't! You can't! Ronnie, Governor, you can't!
Watch me! Stand right here at the window and watch me!
No, I mean you can't! It's against the law!
What?
She's the last one! She's the last queen in the whole world! You can't kill her! It's against the law of Coral Settlement! It's genocide!
sleepers.
Whose names are those?
I'm not sure. I know some of them.
Honey's up there.
Yeah,
Honey, this isn't going to work.
it has to. Go back to sleep.
Wait. Don't wake him up yet.
What? Oh, Loki, seriously?
What? When are we going to be alone again? It's going to be days. My governor.
Thanks, Loki.
That was just practice. Thank me for this. How's the leg?
Leg's okay. Leg's fine.
You don't have the man for you, right?
You're good to me, Wilson. Thank you.
What I'm saying is I'm going to keep being good to you. I know there's been a lot of guys. I know there was one main guy way back when, but I'm different. I'm the guy who's going to stay.
Who told you about that?
Told me what?
That there was a main guy way back when?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I guess everybody just knows.
What did they say about it?
Nothing. I don't even remember where I heard it from.
You don't remember who told you?
Honey, Governor, I'm not trying to upset you. I just want you to know that you can count on me. Just want you to know that I'm never leaving you.
We gotta do this.
Hey, Skin. What's that?
I need the skin.
Give her a second. She's waking up.
It's starting to make noise again. We need her to do the hands language and get it to be quiet.
I need to sleep more.
Hey, Skin! Guess what happens when the whole settlement wakes up and takes a look at that egg sack?
Yes, I'm awake, Honeycomb. Sorry, I'm awake.
You alright?
These bodies.
I know.
They just need so much sleep.
You're alright.
How do you live like this, sleeping all the time?
You really need to get up.
Yes, I'm going with you.
Honeycomb, how long till they hatch? I don't know. How could you not know?
She's telling the truth. We don't know.
Go.
She needs rest, Ronnie. She's Carrie.
How much rest do you think I got when I was Carrie?
And that was a good thing that others should emulate.
You want that thing to wake up a mob?
Mob's waking up anyway, Ronnie. It's almost dawn. You have to make a decision. Now you have to decide if this is going to be a settlement of
You know
laws.
what? You start that shit as soon as everyone's back. I'll be fucked if I'm gonna listen to it now. How long have you been with her?
How long have you been with him?
All right.
Thought you liked him older.
I thought you liked the male.
Haven't talked about Connor this much in years.
If you were one of mine, I'd tell you he died bravely.
Yeah, you probably got good at that.
I did.
It's the obvious follow-up. Get them to kill themselves and go tell their people they died bravely.
They did.
Guess we could have a big fight about this.
We could.
Why don't you have a walking stick? It's so fucking stupid you don't have a walking stick. Alright, you do your thing. Now, why would Peck's name be right beside Connor's?
Don't you touch him!
What list would have both of their names on it?
Well, you always were a smart kid.
These are the ones who brought down the first nest? Are these the original murderers?
Choose your next words very carefully.
Because if I say you sent them to their deaths, you're just going to say the same thing right back to me, right? Because that's who we are now. No surprises.
Guess not.
How's his finger blasting?
What?
The guy, I didn't catch his name.
I haven't heard finger blasting in 20 years.
Yeah? It's like thermos though, right? Just kind of slips back in there.
Too fast some days, too slow the other days.
Oh yeah?
Since you asked.
Some guys don't know what they're doing.
Nope.
Some guys do.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't read letters in years. You think it would take a minute, but Connor.
Alright, look.
I was just such a fucking fool. I was just such a fool.
You know I can't comfort you.
I know.
I'm not kidding.
I know if they saw you.
It's not that. It's you. I don't have comfort for you.
You know what question I keep waiting for?
Forget it.
That no one's ever asked? How come no one's ever asked me, hey Abby, aren't you the one that flipped the switch?
I said forget it.
Aren't you the one that flipped the switch that has all the honeycomb eggs in the world? Aren't you the one that turned before into after? How come no one's ever asked me that? Not once in 20 years. You never told anyone.
That's not on you. You were just a kid. Dad and his people put that switch there. If you hadn't flipped it, one of them would.
But really? Because this is what I remember. You were standing here, you had that gun in your hand, and you would have shot anyone in this room that tried to flip that switch. Even Mom, even Dad, hell, you shot Belinda. Until I decided to walk over and flip it myself. It didn't take very long. Less than 2 seconds, but you had that gun on me the whole time, and you never fired.
Remember these?
Of course.
Reapers, honeycomb design.
For gardening. Subsequently repurposed by your people.
This is what they're going to use when they kill you.
I don't care what they use.
And I'm not going to stop them.
Didn't think you would.
Not because I don't have a choice, but because you deserve to die.
Doesn't a part of you, don't you ever look at these stairs and just think, any second, Dad's gonna come clomping down, yelling at us for still being up?
No, Abby.
Do whatever you want to me, Ronnie. Do anything, but please,
don't. I mean it.
She's subdued. You gotta tie it down tight.
She'll be quiet.
Skid did something. Hands language. Seems to be working.
Thanks, Sharp.
Governor,
What is it, Sharp?
can I take your arm? I'm gonna turn in my gear, join the farm.
What?
I disgraced.
Fuck that!
The Queen takes out with thousands about an hour from your door. It's inexcusable. Turning in my gear. Wilkie should too. It's up to him.
They had help.
A lot of them have help. No excuse.
We don't even know how long it was there.
These are my grounds.
I'm not taking your fucking gear. We're not talking about it.
I can't even look my own man in the face.
You went back out on my hunch, picked up a dread trail, extrapolated it to its destination, found the thing, bound it, and brought it back in less than an hour. Nobody can do that. You're unique. You think I'd let you walk?
I'll do whatever you say.
Sit. You're the heart of my team. You're the heart. I won't take your gear.
All right.
None of this works without you.
All right.
You don't talk much, do you?
I'd have to think much first, and I don't.
Doesn't stop anyone else. You tired?
I will be later.
You must be exhausted.
You trained me.
I remember.
Saved my life.
You don't have to say that. It was war. It was fast. I wasn't thinking about being a hero.
Follow any order you give. Put down my life.
I'm not asking you to.
But, Wilkie's my best friend, so
All right.
I better get back out there.
No. Get Wilkie. I want you both in here. It's about to get shitty.
You got it.
You don't have to be here.
I checked on her, by the way. She's fine.
Talking about the Queen?
No, Ronnie, I'm talking about little Shirley.
Oh, okay.
Your daughter? With Peck?
Good, good. So you went by the house. So she's good. Good. She wasn't asleep?
She went back to sleep. She asked for you. I told her tomorrow.
I thought it was 2 days.
Not anymore. Now it's tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what
I want to be here.
All right, we have to move fast.
We managed to get most of them back to bed.
This is insane. We've lost so much time.
Anybody see Abby?
It's gone in an hour, maybe less.
No, but some people saw her using the hands language. They know we have a full transition.
Twice as many problems to solve in a fifth of the time. How does this happen?
You want my job someday, Xander? This is all that happens.
How did we miss this? How did you miss this?
How about you take a step back?
It doesn't matter who missed it. She's here now.
He didn't miss it. We tricked him. You're what's your name?
You don't worry about my name.
You don't remember us? We only used to be your fucking bodyguards.
Alright, forget your name. It's not important. What's your job? What do you call your job?
He's a bug hunter, just like me. Got something to say about it?
About a despicable term like bug hunter? No, nothing. How do you track queens?
Play long.
Cluster hunting.
You work the patterns.
Crawlers surround the queen in 4 clusters of 4, but you can't always see them, so you look for the flyers. They're just above the tree line, 3 ahead, 3 behind. Spot them first, then scout the crawlers, map the center. There's your queen.
Took us half the war to figure that out.
Always wondered about that.
You know what you do is sickening, don't you?
We don't have time for this.
Thank you.
But we tricked you, alright? Well, not you, but anyone we might have come across between here and Savannah. We sent fake clusters going in both directions. You should have seen me trying to persuade them. No! This is the good kind of lying.
We tracked every queen in Savannah years ago. I was there.
You wouldn't have known to look for her. We weren't guarding her like a queen.
Why not?
She's old. She's one of the original hatched. She bore her generation. Did you have any idea how hard it is to bear a second? We didn't even think she could have any more babies. Guys.
It's possible. She's definitely weak.
Maybe sick. Not that I know what bug sick looks like.
Well, think if a human woman of 50 years was carrying triplets.
This is what I've been doing since I got away from you. We stopped trying to win and just tried to survive. That meant getting the queens and keeping them safe. But you kept getting to them first.
There was a nest still in Portland Farm, large enough to reach the global honeycomb. We sent our minds out across the world asking, have you seen one? Where did you see her when you last saw her? Was she still alive?
Can you even wrap your shitty little minds around what you've done?
And the answer came from across the continent in Savannah. I don't know if I can have any more, but I'll try.
I'm having a hard time believing you.
But it's true.
If she really is the last of your kind capable of producing offspring, then why would you ever take the risk of bringing her right next door to Honeycomb?
We didn't want to. Believe me.
We needed the Everglades. Fuck. Dad's original site. The ambassador told her father on Mars how to make the natal fluid that the egg-sacs rested before hatching. With all the nests burned, our only hope was that there was a decent quantity left over at each original site. So you took her to the closest one? We didn't even think she would make it this far. She's incredible.
But they're not in the fluid anymore. Can they still hatch?
Well, they should. They're hatching size.
They're hatching size?
When will they hatch? I don't know. How could you not know?
Well, like we always knew when we would hatch.
I mean, everything about this is irregular. She's not even supposed to try for another 4 years. I just don't know.
But it could be tomorrow. Or tonight. 10 hours, 10 minutes.
Wilkie, get the stuff. Now.
On it.
What stuff?
How do we know you're telling the truth?
I am!
Yes, that doesn't help.
Ronnie, what stuff?
You have to think about it from our point of view. It would make sense, tactical sense, to have us believe that she was the only one while dozens of others all over the world are...
I wish there were dozens of others all over the world, but you killed them! I'm sorry, but you killed them. I'm sorry, but I've seen it. I've hidden up in the trees while your bug hunters slash one egg after another, speculating each time when they see fluid run out or
perhaps a little leg. I'm sorry. Some of you are terrible creatures.
That's really sad.
What?
That's just so sad that your babies died.
Yes, it was sad.
Was it broken your heart?
You know that metaphor? Yes, it did. Thank you. Not being sincere in some way.
Thank you. But you see what I mean? There's no way to prove you're telling the truth.
Of course there's a way. Kill the queen and watch what happens thereafter. Soon you'll begin to notice that you see fewer and fewer of us. In the trees, in the air, on the water. You and your bug hunters. You'll go out on your expeditions, and more days than not, you'll come home with nothing. Perhaps this is already happening.
Yeah.
And one day, one of you will remark that you haven't seen one of the honeycomb for a whole season. In a whole year. Never again. A 10,000-year-old civilization.
You understand, don't you? That doesn't sound entirely disagreeable to a lot of people in this room.
Except that Coral Settlement has a law against genocide.
Yes, thank you.
It's either a bad thing or it's not.
You being the authority, of course.
Even my attempt at genocide would have let new humans be born. You're really going to be worse than me?
And you knew that would happen when you came up with the plan, right? Or not?
What does it matter what I knew? That was the result.
Well, if we're talking attempted, what you knew is pretty fucking important.
It doesn't matter anyway. I mean, who cares if the children were born human or not? You still would have raised them under a hostile alien culture. You would have raised them to be slaves.
You would have raised them to have different values than their ancestors, sure. That's only happened like, what, hundreds of times in human history?
Hey, please, why can't you stop? With everything that's at stake, why can't you just stop?
This is really good, Xander.
What?
This is good work. That's the extermination or attempted extermination of an entire race. It's simple, it's clear. You're really good at this.
What are we talking about?
Except you left off the word human.
I lifted... It was late. I was tired.
How can we finish his trial knowing the decision we have to make next?
Are you crazy? We're not finishing his trial. What, are we going to find him not guilty just because he didn't get away with it?
Are these the laws of the land or not?
Fine, let's say they're not. We can repeal it. Governor, we're going to repeal it?
Then you have to let him go.
What? No, we are not letting him go.
You hear how you sound, though, right? Either these laws reflect what we believe or they don't.
The fuck is wrong with you?
What I'm saying is we couldn't let him go even if we wanted to. The people out there know who he is. The only way they walk out of this house alive is if the entire settlement is looking in a different direction.
Neither of us expects to walk out of this house alive.
How do you see this ending, Skin? The sun's coming up. My settlement's 5,000 strong. Not one of them came out of the war without losing 3, 4, 5, some even more. They're gonna wake up with the sun like they always do, and it's gonna be pretty fucking hard for them not to notice a giant bug in my yard with a giant goddamn egg sac sticking out of its ass. At which point, anything you saw in the war is gonna look like child's play. So I don't get why you're acting like this is in our hands at all.
If you had even a shred of decency...
Abby, please! Let me handle this. Please. Ronnie Cook. Governor. Do you know how we got to Mars in the first place?
I don't, and I don't care.
In some kind of spaceship?
No, we don't have spaceships. Our technology's organic. When we need something new, we develop it in our bodies.
How do you go through space without a spaceship?
There's a reason why the thoracic fluid, the bug water, yes, you say bug water. There's a reason why it's so volatile. It's something we developed for space travel. You see, when you combine it with the short bursts of adrenaline, not adrenaline exactly, but our equivalent of adrenaline. It's so hard to talk to you, Ronnie Cook!
You use controlled explosions of your own body to move through space? Talk to me.
Well, we we don't process oxygen the same way you do. We can store it in our bodies and draw on it over time. When our planet was dying, all we could do was run. We formed a giant sphere with all of the queens in the center and the rest of us in airtight layers around. The outermost layer drew on the stored oxygen as long as they could, and then they detonated themselves to propel the sphere or make a course correction.
So many of you must have died.
We don't think of our lives the way we do. We ask ourselves, what small thing did I do to help build the honeycomb?
So when we drank the same thoracic fluid,
we didn't even think it could work in an atmosphere, but there's something different about your bodies.
But what you're saying is you could do it again.
Not me. I'm in this body now, I can't go back. But they could.
Back home?
Well, no, it's not there anymore. It's somewhere else.
How would you know you'd find another planet this time?
I don't.
But in order for any of this to happen,
you'd have to let us hatch.
10, 20,000 eggs.
You'd have to let us hatch.
This is, Governor, we should have some sort of delegation. We should get governors from every settlement across the world, as many as we could reach.
Tough shit, it's just us.
A decision like the radio. We could raise them on the radio.
And wake up all the governors and explain the situation and give them time to wring their hands and throw in their worthless 2 cents before the sun comes up.
I don't know.
They could hatch at any time. They could be hatching right now.
Oh, this is insane.
Ronnie Cook, please.
You would just leave? Yes. They would hatch, they would form this sphere, and they would just fly away.
Yes, I swear.
Knowing they might not find anywhere to land.
Yes, I swear.
Or alternatively, you could look in your hearts and try and find some fucking mercy. Give Honeycomb a chance to live alongside you to make a new home.
Are you out of your mind?
You know how much they know? How much they can teach us?
Abby, we agreed. The Honeycomb agreed.
I didn't agree. They're at your mercy. You're just gonna kick them out in the cold? And standing up for people who cannot stand up.
Are you seriously quoting Dad? In a million years, in a million fucking years, you think we would let you live with us?
No, only Abby thought of that. Only Abby wanted to ask for that. The rest of us knew we never could.
Why couldn't you ask? We could always say no, but you could still ask.
After what we did to you, the shame won't allow us to. The shame will only allow us to ask for mercy.
That's funny. I didn't notice any shame until I won.
Because you won. The way you won. We thought we were offering you a better life. We honestly did. We thought we were doing a good thing. And then millions of you died in unspeakable agony, throwing that offer right back at us. You couldn't have gotten all these bodies on a lie. You couldn't have won if we weren't wrong.
Can you imagine saying that? Meaning it? 10,000 years old and they're still children.
I'm sorry, but can we just clarify something, please, before we get too weepy? Those eggs out there, if they hatch, within minutes, they'll be large enough to kill everyone in Coral Settlement.
They won't!
Oh, you say that, but they could.
Would they be physically possible? Yes, I suppose that's true, but I swear.
And this, litter of bugs, let's say it's 10,000. At least 100 of those would be potential queens, is that right?
I know you don't have any reason to trust us.
Oh, you know that? That's something else. Millions of people died so you could know.
Why don't you let her finish?
Even this? You won't even take my side on this?
I'm not your enemy, Bonnie.
How are you not my enemy? You go against me every chance you get.
We're just burning time now. We're burning it like we have it to lose.
But I'm not supposed to be on your side, right? I'm supposed to be on Coral Settlement's side.
By letting 10,000 bug eggs hatch on our doorstep.
We made a law against genocide. You made a law against genocide. Every law has a letter and a spirit.
Seriously?
Oh, what? You want to jump in here?
Tanya, right?
Miss Miller to you.
Oh, Xander, come on.
What is it exactly that you think you've been doing this whole time, Tanya? What was it that you said? That Ronnie made a famous promise? But it was actually 2 promises, right? The first was that you would keep me safe, and the second was when the Honeycomb was defeated, you would let them leave, right?
You know, I actually made it a point of not telling you about that.
I must have asked dozens of people about what happened to Connor when I was your prisoner, until one person took pity on me.
Yeah, taking pity on folks who don't deserve it. I used to be into that.
So when was that supposed to start happening? When was the defeating them gonna stop and the letting them leave gonna start? You, Tanya, you live here under the protection of Ronnie Cook and her bug hunters. You go to sleep at night knowing what those bug hunters are out there doing, what others like them are doing all over the world. What exactly did you think was happening? Genocide isn't genocide if it's slow?
All right.
You work for a governor who was digging up Miami with the insane plan of putting the skyscrapers right side up, of turning the cable back on. The Honeycomb can't live in cities. Where exactly did you think this all was going?
What, so the Honeycomb can retain the wisdom of its ancestors, but we can't retain the wisdom of ours?
Oh, God's sake.
What?
Looks like she's not against you on everything, Governor.
No, just everyone else is.
We need those bodies on the farms. What am I saying? We don't have time for this.
Is that why you're digging up Miami, for the wisdom of your ancestors?
Guess what? I don't have to explain myself to you.
Or are you looking for guns and gasoline?
You want to know how I got so many volunteers? How I got so many people to walk away from their families and die? Same thing every time. I told them about the life your friends took away from us.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The life they took away from me! My life! We can go anywhere! We can meet anyone! We can make anything! We can know everything! We can have beautiful lives! And my family took all that away! And now we have to wake up at dawn and work all day long just to have fucking food! And I have to give up my leg and my man and everything I ever worked with cleaning up their mess!
That life isn't coming back, Ronnie! Not for decades, maybe not for 100 years! Look out the window! We are farmers! That's what we are now! Miami is under 10 feet of mud! Anything we dig out, we don't know how to use it! We're farmers! And that's okay, we can be good farmers! We just have to say that's what we're doing! Not sending people we can't spare, digging after life that we can't remember! We have to stop talking about it! Your wretched family and the ocean of shit poured on our heads by the fucking cooks! We have to stop talking about you! You need to let us go! We're farmers!
Good to go, good to go, good to go.
Oh, what is that?
Good. More shit from Miami, right on cue.
Let me see that.
You better step the fuck back.
You give the order, Governor.
Splash it. Don't light it up yet.
On it, on it, on it.
Yeah?
What?
Is that paint thinner?
On it.
What's paint thinner?
Okay, now paint thinner.
Burns. Fast and hot. You're remembering, right?
Ronnie, no, but what about what she said?
Burns? Excuse me, I don't remember that we reached a decision.
Burns what?
Wait, what are they doing to her? Wait!
What is the alternative, Tanya?
Stop! Leave her alone! She doesn't like it! The alternative is that we don't commit the worst crime in the world.
All right. I have had it with your shit!
Ronnie!
Governor, stop it!
Get the fuck back!
You can't do that, Ronnie. You can't point a knife at me.
See, I'd get it if it were honest, but it's really just me. I say something, you say the opposite. That's what you are.
If you want to talk to me, put your knife down.
You want them to hatch? Yes or no?
Every law has a letter in it.
Because remember, this time they know about the bug water. We can't do that again. They turn on us this time, we're gonna have to fight them with fucking rocks.
And there's a spirit to that
And you
law.
won't have Connor. And you sure as shit won't have me, sweetheart. I barely have 2 legs. And then, all they have to do is survive another 12 years and then they can birth 1 million more. So yes or no, right now, do we let them hatch?
This accomplishes exactly nothing.
Yes or no?
There's a spirit to that law, and there must be some things that are so horrible that we won't do them even in our own protection. Because by doing them, we make ourselves unworthy to survive.
Ronnie, please, isn't that true?
This conversation is pointless. The sun is rising. We don't have enough time to get a creature of that size away from the settlement before everyone wakes up and sees it, and nothing can stop what'll happen then.
Nothing but Ronnie. Ronnie says don't hurt her, then they won't. They won't listen to him. They won't listen to me, but they'll listen to you.
And why is that?
You know why.
You're fucking right, I do. It's because I do the things you don't. I get people to kill themselves, and when there's a choice to make, I just make it. That's what they respect in me, and what they don't see in you. There's two kinds of people in the world. The ones who bitch about what was decided, and the ones who actually decide! Fine! Switch places with me, I'll decide! Secure them!
Wait, no, Ronnie, that's mass murder! That's mass murder, Ronnie! Ronnie, no!
Yeah, tell me about mass murder!
I'm gonna find some forgiveness, Ronnie! And look in your eyes! I'm gonna find some forgiveness!
Put it on the wall! That's his name! Put your hand on it!
Heck!
Connor! Put your hand on his name! Now say you forgive me. I sent him to his death on a lie. Say you forgive me. Let's see if you can to save an entire race. I bet you could even sound like you did. You used to pick me up in the air and just hold me there. These arms were like the whole world. Only times in my life I didn't have to be who I am. Gag it!
Who would ever give you?
No! Running up!
I forgive you!
I'm an anthropologist. I study humans. I've never known anything so fascinating. And in my studies, I've learned that you do this. Yes? This is what you do when you want to make yourself lower than the person to whom you're supplicating. Please, Ronnie Cook, please don't kill my people. We were wrong. We were wrong, but we can be right. We can learn, we can be humble, we can be better than we were. Please. Please don't kill our babies. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am so sorry that we hurt you. Please. Please forgive us. Please don't kill our babies. Please. Please let us try again.
She's right, Ronnie. You can't kill their babies. Nothing would be worse than if you killed their babies.
See, why don't you...
Because in the time before, I wouldn't have lost my babies. With the hospitals they used to have, I'd still have all 5 of my babies, not dead in that long boat next to her 4 babies that lived. Same food, same water, same blankets. But all 5 of my babies took sick while 4 of her babies got strong. All 4 of her babies lived while 5 of my babies died.
I am so sorry.
You're so sorry. I could be raising my babies right now, not hers. They wouldn't be asking for her every single day because they'd be mine. I wouldn't be following after her, rubbing her fucked up leg, raising her fucked up baby Shirley that she never sees. I'd have my babies instead of watching them take sick and die on that boat. Because there was a world that could have saved them and you took that away.
Yes, I hear you.
You hear me?
Yes, I hear you. And I say to you, with the greatest respect for your sorrow, that she loves her babies as much as you love
Fuck
her.
you!
She loves her babies as much as you
Fuck
love
you!
They don't look like your babies. But she loves them just the same.
No, Ronnie.
Governor, everybody who comes before our court tells their little story and everyone cries. Tears are easy. As easy as it will be for those things to kill us the minute they hatch. We're ready on your say.
Sharp.
I'll follow any order you give.
Let's do this.
Sharp.
One thing we do sometimes. We plant the fleshy flowers in a clearing, in the trees. They can't help themselves. They want to drink, even if they know it's a trap. Formation drops down in the trees, and then two of them every time turn their bellies into our spears while the other ones drink and get away. Turn at the same time, at the same speed, and I can never figure out how they decide which two. I hate them. I hunt them. I kill them. They're perfect.
Who's got a torch outside?
Which of the guys?
Watch out!
Ronnie,
No!
Ronnie, we'll do it! Ronnie!
Let him go.
Don't think so.
Let him go.
Not gonna happen.
Folks are going to be coming out soon. Get some teams together. We need crowd control.
What about mine?
They're finished.
Give it to me.
You okay?
I'm sorry for what I said.
Why?
Is this helping?
Xander.
Yeah, yes, sorry.
Fee can be witness.
Witness to what?
Me handing over Governor to you.
Wait.
What?
I'll swear you in right now, you want it or not.
Ronnie, wait a day, wait a couple of days.
I'll swear you in right now. Fee can be witness. If Fee's witness, people will know it's honest.
Why would you do that?
Because I want something.
Conditions.
3.
Well, go ahead.
Skin goes free. She can stay if she wants or not, but nobody ever knows.
I'd have to keep her under watch for a few weeks.
Whatever.
Go on.
If you're governor, we're gonna need a manager.
Of course. I have a few names I could put forward as candidate. What? No, Governor, please. What are you doing? You can't stand her.
You can't do that, Governor.
Yes or no?
I'm warning you right now, if you give me that position, I'm going to charge you with genocide.
I'm talking to him.
No. First, I'm going to ask the council to grant amnesty to everyone at the transition in our prison. I'm going to give them language. I'm going to get the votes. And I'm going to make them citizens of this settlement. Do you hear me?
You want the gig?
And then I'm going to charge you with genocide. And I'm going to get the guilty finding, and I'm going to see you executed with honor.
You want the gig or not?
Yes, I want it.
She's going to make my life a nightmare.
Yes or no?
All right, yes, God, I can only imagine what comes next.
I execute Abby. Myself in this room. Nobody else.
No, unacceptable.
Or you don't get to be governor.
I have to be the one to do it. It can be just the three of us, that's fine. But if I'm going to be manager of this settlement, I have to be able to say that I killed someone. I have to be able to say that I killed Abby Cook.
All right.
Robbie, get some sleep and decide this tomorrow.
When does Shirley wake up?
Soon, I guess, with the sun.
And we should do this so you can get home.
Are you sure?
On my side. Get the thing.
You know, we really don't have a process for all this. People just sort of carried you in.
Come on.
I'm definitely going to be instituting a few regular practices around here.
Put your hand on it. Xander Smith, do you swear to obey and enforce the laws of Coral Settlement?
I do.
Do you swear to serve the people of Coral Settlement with every resource at your command?
I do.
Ronnie! Then I grant you the title of Governor of Coral Settlement. Think you can repeat that?
Yeah. Miss Miller. Tanya Miller, do you swear to protect and enforce the laws of Coral Settlement?
I do.
Go home. Tell Shirley I asked about her.
Do you promise to serve the people of Coral Settlement with every resource at your command?
I do.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
And I grant you the title of Manager of Coral Settlement.
We've got some men in place, but we need to get back out there.
People are starting to come up, like, lots of people.
Yeah.
Whoa, what is going on out there?
Burned up queen, man. People are celebrating.
Come with me. Ronnie?
Go with her.
It's okay.
No,
Go with her. It's all right.
no, I don't want to. I want to die.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You don't. The baby.
No, I can't.
You have to. You're a queen now.
I can't do it.
Eric? What small thing can you do to help build the honeycomb? There are hundreds of transitioned in our prison. They need to learn to walk. They need language. They need to learn to write. Do you think you can help me?
Right?
Of course. How can we preserve the story of the honeycomb for our children if they don't learn to write?
No, it won't work.
Of course it will.
No. No, honeycomb memories are like perfect recordings. It's like it's happening as you remember it. That's all gone now. We'll argue over details. We'll remember things wrong. We'll change things to make ourselves look better. They'll be human memories.
Then there'll be human memories. That's what's left.
I'll name the baby after you. You do that, Bess. That's a custom.
You can't.
Give it your name.
You can't name a baby Abby. Not anymore. Get her out of here.
Abby,
Go.
Abby.
Goodbye, Claire.
You'll be hearing from me.
Man, fuck her. Fuck both of them.
Looking a little crazy out there.
Come on, Wilkie.
I'll catch up.
Sharp.
Yeah.
You know I have your back, right?
Yeah.
People say shit, I say forget them. You're Ronnie Cook. You don't answer to anybody. Come here. I'm gonna be there for you. You know that, right? No matter what. I know you had the other guy before. I'm not trying to be like that guy, but I can be a different guy. I can be the guy from now on.
Thank you, Wilkie.
You know that, right?
Help Sharp out.
I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Ronnie, you realize there's not going to be any trial, right? I mean, obviously, she wouldn't have popular support. They'd probably burn her house down just for making the charge.
You ready?
Just like that.
Anything to say first?
I hope you never feel love again for as long as you live.
You're up.
Alright, now. I mean, it's easy, right? I just have to.
If you knock him out first, he won't be looking at you.
I can do that.
You know how to knock somebody out, Governor?
No, I don't.
Alright. So you want the brain to snap to one side fast, right? To hit the side of the skull. So you need the head to snap to one side fast, right? Like to punch the jaw myself.
Alright. Like that?
No.
What's happening?
Put it on!
What? I don't understand.
You don't understand what? Drag him over there real quick and then you can take off.
Take off?
Come on, just over there. I can't do it.
Here?
All the way. Great, you're done. Now go. What? Do we have anything to say to each other?
No.
The only way you're walking out of this house is if everyone in the whole settlement's looking in another direction. You've got till the fire stops.
Wait, what did I just...
Get out!
Wait, Ronnie!
What the fuck are you still doing here?
I distracted more than 10 paces. Did I distract him out of the blast radius? Ronnie, what's in the thermos?
Contingency. In case the bugs ever tried to take the governor alive.
Oh.
It's what's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Are you with me?
No!
Fuck you.
She's on the porch, Ronnie, I swear.
Fuck you.
I saw her, Ronnie. I saw the ball balloon. I swear.
I don't believe you.
You're not scared?
She's not out there.
Then tell me to open the door. If she's not outside right now, crawling on her knees, then tell me to open